The first time I picked up a camera was my mom had a disposable film camera, which was designated as the family camera, so to document when we go on events or outings. And that was sort of my duty. She gave me the camera, and I sort of played and experimented with the camera. And like back then, when we developed the film, we would take it to a pharmacy and get it developed, and then the next day or the day after that, I would pick it up. It's interesting because I started experimenting more with photographing things typically family orientated, and I would just go into the backyard and make things and then photograph that and then take it to the pharmacy. And when I get the images back, they would look at me weird because I got this sort of strange arrangements of sculptures and things. And then that's how it started. Part of my method of working is that wherever I produce a body of work is also where I am located or based. So the process involves, when I go take photographs in the community, is one that often is very collaborative, and I more recently started doing this thing where I would have a conversation, and typically it's very difficult when I photograph because I don't want the camera to be obtrusive and get in the way of photographing a moment. The moment you ask to photograph someone, it becomes sort of staged. And so I typically try to operate the camera very quickly. But what I see is interesting because on one occasion I actually gave a camera to a family that I've been photographing, and they've been photographing me, and I actually had these images next to each other, seeing this juxtaposition of their perspective versus my perspective. And that was a sort of a really interesting moment that I realized that there's something sort of more, sort of goes beyond the image itself. And that's when I started looking at things that's embedded, that you can't always immediately identify what's in the image, but there's something estranged about it. Photographing people, I find it somewhat difficult because it's such an intimate thing to do. I sometimes feel very awkward in front of the camera, and so I found a way of photographing people in a very unobtrusive, almost in a way that it shows traces of people that occupied spaces. So when I look through the camera, it gives a certain agency for me to observe, sort of things experienced within everyday life. I think there's so much within showing the daily activities we go through and the sort of small things that we accomplish on a daily basis. So for me, that's the thing that I get excited about.